in the morn. Can't you hear the captain shouting? Line up, blow your horn.
Good enough for on you. Yeah.
All right. Here we go, everybody. Get ready for this one.
Bye, honey.
In Napoli, where love is king, when boy meets girl, here's what they say.
When love hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. That's amore. When the world seems to shine like you have too much fun, that's amore. That's amore. When the rain you sing pizza bella, pizza bella. I will say tippy tippy tay, tippy tippy tay, like you're getting give a smile at your feet, you're in love. When you walk in a dream, but you know you're not dreaming, Signore. School's lonely, but you see back in old Napoli, that's amore. Well, life on the farm is finally backing, but you know what if you can't have? It's a rise, early in the south, thank God I'm running forward. Well, it's taking my life, never did me no harm, or really a family, working on a farm. Getting all through with an income job, thank God I'm running forward. Well, I got me a dime, I got me old field, but the sun's coming out, and I'm getting all the grill. Life ain't nothing but a funny riddle, thank God I'm running forward. When the world's all dark, when the sun's getting low, I pull out my fiddle and bustin' up my bow. Guitar and sweet songs, moving kind of low, thank God I'm running forward. I face after good morning, if I could, but the Lord in my life would take it very good. Work when I should, thank God I'm running forward. Well, I got me a box, I got the old fiddle, when the sun's coming out, I'm gonna taste all the good. Life ain't nothing but a funny riddle, thank God I'm running forward. Well, it was a great life, God, I told you, never was one of them. I'm a fool, rather have my fiddle than my body tools. Thank God I'm running forward. Yeah, city girls driving in a black limousine. A lot of sad people thinking that I'm my key. Son, let me tell you exactly what I mean. Thank God I'm running forward. Well, I got me a fire, I got the old fiddle. Start coming out like a big on the hill. Life ain't nothing but a funny riddle. Thank God I'm running forward. It's special. My daddy called me hard, I'm a little talking, I work in a dollar bill. Talking about a lot, and I give just a little. Thank God I'm running forward. Got me a fire, I was out the old field, but it's like starting up with a big on the wheel. Got me something but a fun riddle. Thank God I'm running forward. Okay, we're going back to Sesame Street days now. Yeah, ready? Everyone should know this. Sing our song, sing out loud, sing out strong, sing of good things not bad, sing of happy, not sad, sing our song, make it simple, last your whole life long. Don't worry that it's Here's a song by Howie Chapin about how life is a circle. It keeps kind of going around, just like life in general. The chorus goes, all my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. Moon rolls through the nighttime till daybreak comes round. All my life's a circle, and I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. Just think of me as Mitch Miller. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the nighttime. Moon rolls through the night till the daybreak comes. Daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle. Can't tell you why, but I can tell you why. Spinning around again. The years keep rolling by. It seems like I've been here before. I can't remember when, but I had this funny feeling that we'll all be together again. No straight lines make up my life, and all my roads have been. There's no clear line beginning, and so far so good. All my life's a circle. Here we go. All my life's a circle. Sunrise and sunrise. Moon through the night. Till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle. I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning round again. The years keep going. I got you 1,000 times. I guess you've done the same. But then we lose each other. It's like a children's game. As I find you here again, a thought runs through my mind. Our love is like a circle. Let's go round one more time. All my life's a circle. Sunrise and sundown. Sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. And the years keep on rolling by. Here we go. Teach the world to sing perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today. A song of peace that echoes on and never goes away. I'd like to see the world for once standing hand in hand and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today. A song of peace that echoes on and never goes away.
Stress, a proud member of the Point After Club. Welcome to our 5th annual Mental Health Awareness event and the opening of our member art gallery. All right, this year's theme is fitness, for mind, for body. Information will focus on increasing understanding of how the body's various systems impact mental health based on recent research. From food to fitness, we will be diving into the elements that make up personal wellness. Also join us for the gala reception for our Clubhouse Art Gallery. I would like to ask Lisa DeFron to come up to introduce our first speaker.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we? How are we? Did you enjoy your lunch? I think it was somewhat of a well-balanced, healthful meal if you didn't eat the cookie. Oh, good, the raisins. So it is my privilege. I've been asked to come up here because it is my honor and my privilege to introduce our guest speaker, who I know kind of well. She's my sister, and she's an amazing individual, an amazing woman, an amazing member of the VinFen family, and she just has so much knowledge and so much passion about everything that she does. It seems to be a pattern that I throw her name up for anything that might come up, and that's what happened today. So again, my privilege to introduce my sister, Joanne Caramba.
Hello, club members and staff. It's such a heartwarming opportunity to be here. I have such a warm affection for the Point After Club and for the Haverhill Clubhouse. Many of you participated in my music and movement group over a couple of years. And if you didn't participate, you made me feel welcomed and missed if I missed a week. Hey, Billy. Hi. He was a regular. Yeah, so it really means a lot for me to be here today. So I wrote some things down because I'm nervous. So usually if I share with the group that I'm nervous, it helps me to relax a little bit and hopefully stay on point. So good afternoon. My name is Joanne Paremba. I am the team leader for the VinFen PAC team, and I am also a person in long-term recovery from complex trauma, addictions, and a serious medical condition. I'm here to share with you how valuable it has been for me to incorporate health, nutrition, and fitness practices into all areas of my life. My mother, my sister, who you all know, my brother and I are all survivors of severe life-threatening trauma at the hands of my biological father. In fact, my father died in prison while serving a life sentence for murder. It is believed that he was an individual who met the clinical criteria for sociopathology, meaning he lived without genuine concern for others. In other words, he lacked the ability to have compassion for others, resulting in his living his life without guilt or remorse, emotions which teach most of us things that we don't want to repeat, behaviors that have caused harm to others or at least emotional pain. Because of the way we feel compassion, we're able to change those behaviors. Both my parents were also alcoholics, and due to their own illnesses, they were unable to role model healthy coping skills. Sadly, I grew up with my mother threatening suicide and my father threatening murder. I don't blame my parents today. I understand they repeated cycles of violence and untreated mental illness and addiction. And though I would not wish my childhood on my worst enemy, I believe that my parents did the best they could. There is a poem titled, "Children Learn What They Live." I am a product of that. I had my first plan of suicide at the age of 6. I ran away from home the first time at the age of 6. I packed my favorite lunchbox with a pretty dress and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I stole a Salem cigarette out of my mother's pocketbook. And I went out into the backwoods until it got dark, and then I got scared, and I went home. I lived with terror and believed everyone lived that way, but it best be kept a secret. Don't tell anyone. At the age of 12, I started drinking alcohol and doing drugs. This was powerful for me because I swore I would never drink alcohol. I could see my parents would consume alcohol and horrible things would happen, like the Christmas tree would go out the front window and the police would come. I didn't understand I didn't have a defense against the progression of addiction, and to tell you the truth, there was some relief from the way I thought and felt when I used alcohol and drugs. This theory has come to be known as the self-medication theory. My first suicide attempt was at the age of 13 because a boy broke up with me and I didn't know how to cope with the feelings of rejection and loss. I hated myself. This would become a way of life for the next 12 years. Drugs, alcohol, suicidal plans, and attempts. I thank God today that I lived through my self-destructive path. As I share with you the hows and whys of how I became more and more unwell, I'm reminded that the tragic path of self-hate, addiction, and untreated trauma brought me to a desperate place, which made me truly open to asking for help. The moment I was open to help, and the key phrase here is open to help, I'm getting goosebumps all over my body, and I'll just have to tell you, if you have a spiritual sense about you at all, that's like what's happening to me right now. I love it. I love them when I get them on the head. The responsibility, after I became aware and was able to ask for help, the responsibility became mine. It became mine to break the unhealthy cycles that had plagued my family for generations. I entered an inpatient unit and was then referred to a 6-month residential treatment program for women who were willing to address issues of trauma and addiction. It was there that I began my journey of recovery and committed to incorporating a holistic approach to my overall health and wellness. I accepted that if I could commit to my mental, physical, and spiritual well-being, I would have the best shot at being the woman I dreamed of becoming. I graduated from the residential treatment program understanding that I would not be graduating from my recovery. I understood that this would be an ongoing adventure, and that it has been. I was 25 then, and have since gone back to college, something I couldn't do when unwell. In fact, I wanted a bachelor's degree, and I kept going and got a master's degree. I was homeless, unemployed, and uninsured. When I started, I can honestly say today that I have exceeded every dream I had since I committed to my recovery. I am a woman of dignity and self-respect, a woman worthy of all the good things that life has to offer. This awareness was huge for my recovery, as I am unwilling to settle for less. I do my best, and I expect the best. In October of 2011, I was diagnosed with leukemia and put into practice the same skills that have fostered my mental health and addiction recovery. I asked for help, and I took suggestions. I'm happy to say that I have incorporated the use of a holistic health coach into my recovery practice, which includes nutrition, yoga, prayer, and meditation. And to the amazement of the traditional doctors, I have remained symptom-free and have not required any intrusive cancer treatment in almost 7 years. Today I live with hope and gratitude, and I am a person who truly lives one day at a time. Life is precious, and I treat it as a gift. Thank you very much.
So Joanne didn't share that she's going to be leaving her position and moving out to the left coast?
Yeah, I'm going to California. My youngest got accepted to college in Hollywood, and he wants us to go, so
That's awesome.
Hollywood, here she comes. On behalf of the club, we want to thank you for this beautiful speech.
Thank you.
A special card made from the Point After Club members.
How many you got, Gloria? What you got? Oh.
Beautiful
Wow.
card.
Thank you. I have a really big suitcase.
Let's hear it again for Joanne. Thank you, Joanne, so much for caring and sharing. That was beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you. Very brave.
Alrighty. At this time, I would like to introduce my friends Mary Ortiz and Priscilla Corkle to speak on today's theme.
Yes, we do.
I'll pass it back and forth.
Mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and mental illnesses are common and treatable. So much of what we do physically impacts us mentally. It's important to pay attention to both your physical health and your mental health, which can help you achieve overall wellness and set you on a path to recovery.
La salud mental es esencial para todos, la salud y bienestar general. Y las enfermedades mentales son comunes y se pueden tratar. Mucho de lo que hacemos nos afecta físicamente y mentalmente. Es importante que preste atención a su salud física y su salud mental, que le pueden ayudar a lograr el bienestar general y que en la senda de la recuperación.
This May is Mental Health Month. Point After Club in Vinfin is raising awareness about the connection between physical health and mental health. Through the theme, Fitness for Mind, for Body, the campaign is meant to educate and inform individuals about how eating healthy foods, gut health, managing stress, exercising, and getting enough sleep can go a long way in making you healthy all around.
Excuse me. Este mayo es mes de salud. Point After Club y Vinfin es sensibilizar acerca de la relación entre la salud física y mental a través del tema Gimnasio número 4, de mente y cuerpo. La campaña pretende educar y informar a las personas acerca de cómo comer alimentos saludables, la salud intestinal, controlar el estrés, hacer ejercicio y dormir lo suficiente. Puede ir un largo camino para ser sano todo alrededor.
A healthy lifestyle can help to prevent the onset or worsening of mental health conditions like depression and anxiety, as well as heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and other chronic health problems. It can also play a big role in helping people recover from these conditions. Taking good care of your body is part of a before stage 4 approach to mental health.
Un estilo de vida saludable puede ayudar a prevenir la aparición o el empeoramiento de las condiciones de salud mental como la depresión y la ansiedad, así como la diabetes, la obesidad y otros problemas de salud crónicos. También puede jugar un papel importante en ayudar a la gente a recuperarse de estas condiciones. Teniendo buen cuidado de su cuerpo es parte de una etapa ante 4 enfoques de salud mental.
Getting the appropriate amount of exercise can help control weight, improve mental health, and help you live longer and healthier. Recent research is also connecting your nutrition and gut health with your mental health. Sleep also plays a critical role in all aspects of our life and overall health. Getting a good night's sleep is important to have enough physical and mental energy to take on daily responsibilities. And we all know that stress can have a huge impact on all aspects of our health. So it's important to take time to focus on stress-reducing activities like meditation or yoga.
Obtener la cantidad adecuada de ejercicio puede ayudar a controlar el peso, mejorar la salud mental y le ayudarán a vivir más tiempo y más saludable. Investigaciones recientes también se conectan su nutrición y salud intestinal con su salud mental. El sueño también desempeña un papel fundamental en todos los aspectos de nuestra vida y a la salud en general. Conseguir una buena noche de sueño es importante. Tener suficiente energía física y mental para asumir responsabilidades diarias. Y todos sabemos que el estrés puede tener un gran impacto en todos los aspectos de nuestra salud, por lo que es importante dedicar tiempo a las actividades de reducción de estrés como la meditación y yoga.
Point After Club in Vinfin wants everyone to know that mental illnesses are real and recovery is always the goal. Living a healthy lifestyle may not be easy, but by looking at your overall health every day, both physically and mentally, you can go a long way in ensuring that you focus on your fitness for mind, for body.
Point After Club y Vinfin quiere que todos sepan que las enfermedades mentales son reales y que la recuperación siempre es el objetivo. Vivir un estilo de vida saludable puede no ser fácil, pero al observar tu salud general todos los días, tanto física como mentalmente, puedes recorrer un largo camino para asegurarte de que tú sientas en tu condición física. Número 4, mente, 4, cuerpo.
All right, now I'd like to welcome my friend, my mentor, Mr. Tom Coppinger.
Yeah. My notes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, is everyone having a good time out there? Woo! Joanne, that was incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. That was beautiful. Thank you, Mary, Priscilla. Great job, guys, and Anna Harris for welcoming. The Point After Club is a international. It's a clubhouse. It's an international rehabilitation model. There are over 325 clubhouses in 34 countries that follow this international model. It's an evidence-based model. It's about a partnership, members and staff working side by side to run the clubhouse and to develop individual opportunities for our members in jobs, housing, education, social recreation, and we're focused on health and wellness today. To me, I've been around for a long time and been in many clubhouses, but I can tell you unequivocally, and I want the members and staff of the Point After Club to stand up right now, that I am the luckiest director in the world of Clubhouse with this group of people that I work with. So thank you so much. Give me a hand to the Point After Club members and staff. Thank you, folks. Guys, these things just don't happen. This is all in partnership, working side by side. And how about my friends from Havel, the Havel Clubhouse? You guys, we love you guys too. It's our sister club. We share so many things and partners and members, actually, for that matter. But we're not a community support clubhouse without the support of our community. And, you know, back in 2013, we were acquired by our new agency, VinFan, and they have been so wonderful in supporting us to achieve our goals and bring us to where we are today with our beautiful new site in the Everett Mills down the hall. I just want to welcome Alex Yellen from Communications, representing VinFan, and we're very grateful and thoughtful of their support. The friends and family that are here, we can't do it without you. Is Mike up here? Mike Mitchell? You still here, Mike? Stand up, Mike. This is Mike and Jim Brochet, Lawrence Heritage State Park. They're just wonderful. They support us every year off of this side, but also he takes us fishing, and we do walks around the neighborhood, tell us about the history of Lawrence. We have so many other community partners, along with we're part of the Mayor's Health Task Force Behavior Health Work Group. It's a longer acronym, but it's a wonderful group that really works together to try to seek solutions and educate our community. Mass Rehab. We have Heather from the Greater Merrimack Valley Employment Collaborative here today. Thank you, Heather, for coming. That's a cross-disability group to help provide and support, working out for new jobs, because there's nothing, more life-changing than a job for our members, and it's so crucial that those opportunities out there. We're very thankful of all the employers. We actually have one of our new employees here in the building, Sam Palmer from Reef Lease over here, and right in the Everett Mills. Thanks for coming, Sam. So it's employees, it's landlords that are so important. At the club, I'm hoping this is going to be a kickoff for us guys to really focus on health and wellness. We really need to get our health and wellness in order. We got wellness walks. We have Dual Recovery Anonymous groups at the club. We're getting those YMCA passes, Linda Jean. We're going to get those. We've got a new partnership with the UMass Nutritional Education Program, Jeannie Baranek. We just signed a memorandum of understanding with them. We'll be doing some nutrition groups, both for the group and some 8-week classes, but also for the whole group as a whole. We're part of a work group with the Work Without Limits folk at UMass Medical, talking about working on a new design for smoke cessation, and it's pretty neat. There's 3 clubhouses in the state. We were chosen as one of them. There's Lighthouse in Springfield, Genesis Club in Worcester, and Point After Club in Lawrence. We have a meeting on Monday, and there's 3 more meetings. I know some of the members and staff have participated in that, so that meeting's next Monday. What time was that meeting the last time? 11 o'clock, yeah. So please show up, because they're going to be here. And they did get word back that the partner said that there was a wonderful conversation that you folks had. So there's going to be 3 more of those every other Monday, and Monday's the next one. We do chair yoga. We're still trying to music and movement every now and then, although we miss Joanne. We're got healthy lunches. We're really looking at the nutrition and what it is that we're eating.
No salt.
What's that? No salt. So just one note that we do have, and I forgot to announce this, and we can play it after the program. Down in the theater, we have Marie Balter, who is an incredible woman who was at Danvers State Hospital for more than 15 years. In fact, was silent for a decade back in the 50s. Ended up getting out of the hospital, going to school, receiving her master's degree at Harvard University, and becoming an administrator at Danvers State Hospital. Just an incredible, remarkable woman. And she came to the point after, if you don't know, she wrote the book Nobody's Child that Marlo Thomas won an Emmy Award for many years ago. But in 1991, she came to the Point After Club and spoke to our members from the heart, and it was incredibly poignant, and it resonates today with the importance of the community and getting out in the community. And she told the members that day that the Point After Club isn't an institution. It's not a place to come and just be. You got to bridge out into the community, and that's what the jobs are so important, housing, and community events like this are about. But getting out there, and it's wonderful to see the members now taking off on the weekends by themselves, or together to movies, the beach, and other things. And that's what it's about. It's about having the whole world experience. And so if you have an opportunity, we'll show that after the event here. So, and I have Barbara Hendricks, who's a returning member, longtime member, is going to come up. This is one of my favorite quotes of all time, and it's a Marie Balter quote. So she's going to share that quote for us.
The thing I'm going to be reading is, I wouldn't have grown one bit if I didn't learn to forgive. If you don't forgive your parents or your children or yourself, you don't get beyond the anger. Forgiving is a way of reaching from our bad past heading out more towards a positive future. A model for many people. Yes.
Beautiful, Barbara. Just also wanted to mention one of our new friends, and we were honored. We received a Community Service Leadership Award from Asperger's Works. Last week we were at Maria's. Dan Raychuk, the Executive Director of Asperger's Works, is here. Stand up, Dan. Give me a hand. Great new program. And Dan's going to be presenting his program to the club on May 11th, right? We're going to have a Speakers Bureau, so we look forward to that, Dan. Thank you. And Matt's here from the Northeast Independent Living Center, Recovery Learning Center. Come work with us on Fridays. Thank you. So I want to bring up our member speaker today, and she is someone who she's a real hoot, as they say sometimes, but just an incredible story, a wonderful woman, and we're so proud of her. So come on up, Olga. Olga's going to she's going to share some of her story.
My name is Olga Ponte, and this is my recovery story. I started drinking alcohol when I was 11 years old, and I started using drugs when I was 18. I used to sniff cocaine. My father put me in my first detox when I was 21. I was then introduced to heroin by my cousin. At 32, I used heroin for 22 years. I would use for a period of time. Then I would go to detox to try and get clean. I went to approximately 28 detoxes. Probably more because of my drug use. I lost my kids. I couldn't hold a job on no one respect me
Or trusted.
And I became homeless.
And I became homeless.
All right? Okay.
I was homeless for years because anytime I got money, I would do any
You used it for drugs.
for drugs. I was a slave to the drugs. I would do anything to get money,
To get more.
to get more. I was diagnosed with depression, bipolar,
and
major depression. At 29, I used to also be a cutter. I found when I cut myself, I would get relief from the emotional pain
I was feeling.
I was hospitalized for my mental illness more than 20 times. Detox and psych units know me by my name.
Good, that's good.
This first time I come to the Point After Club over the 10 years ago,
It helped me.
It helped me with
When I went.
then, but I was still using, so I didn't keep going. I am now doing good. I have been clean and sober for 2 years.
Okay, we got,
Take a sip of
sorry.
Deep breath. We love you, Olga. We love you, Iris. Yeah, you gotta keep going.
Okay,
Keep doing it.
this is your name. Ready? I decided
I decided to come back to the Point After Club
this year
this year. When I first came back to the club,
I
I came into the club to see Tom.
Okay,
When I first
saw him
he looked at me
with surprise.
with a surprise and said, "I thought you were dead." And I said
To
to him, why is that the suit you wear
for my funeral.
at my funeral? They even had my name on a plaque for past members
who had
who had died,
passed away.
passed away.
The good news
The good news is they now have taken
my name.
my name off the plaque. Since I have been back to the club, I am doing really, really, really good. I have a job, and I am now training for another job. I have met my new friends and have connected with old ones.
Woo! You know, we're in the process of doing a documentary on the Point After Club. Everybody's somebody at the Point After Club. And one of the theme that we're talking about is, and she just talked a lot about it, was resiliency. And that's like a testament, you know, and Joanne, your story too. But just incredible stories of resiliency here this day. Thank you so much. Wow. And thank you, Robert, for supporting your good friend over there. That's right. So some of you might be wondering, in the middle of Priscilla's and I think Anna's and Mary's talk about the term gut health. Does anyone wonder what they were talking about, gut health? Barbara?
The antibiotics in your
Thank you. Recent research is connecting gut health with your mental health. So when it comes to diet and nutrition, it's about finding the right balance. And we've got our own scientist that's been working on this. Her big sister, I think it's her big sister, talked earlier today. Is she older than you, your big sister? Part of the Dynamic Sisters. We're going to bring up Lisa to talk about gut health, to kind of explain this a little bit. This is really some new science that really is connecting the gut.
Hi again. This is amazing so far, isn't it? Hearing Joanne, amazing. I am so proud that you are my sister. Like, you are truly my hero. And Olga, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Glad you're off the plaque boat. So when Tom asked me to do a little research and speak on the brain-gut connection, I thought, what do I do? What do you get mad at me for? And so really, I have some lived experience with not a healthy gut. So as I was doing some research, I felt like I should have a PhD from MIT, right, looking into this, because the information really is so vast And it's just really a lot of science, right? So I'm trying to break it down so we can all understand it a little bit, maybe walk away with a little bit of information, and maybe, be inspired to change the way we live and eat on a daily basis. So I'm going to throw out some statistics that I first gathered. Since 1979, deaths due to brain-related diseases, neurological disorders, Alzheimer's, depression, anxiety, ADHD, has increased 66% in men and 92% in women. That's since 1979. The dramatic increase has been influenced by our environmental and societal changes. 1 in 4 adults, which is 26% of the population, suffer from diagnosed mental illness. Anxiety, 40 million adults, which is 10% of the population. Depression, 1 in 10 adults. This is the leading cause for disability claims worldwide, depression. On average, people who live with severe mental illness, such as bipolar and schizophrenia, die 25 years earlier than the general population. That is truly significant. We spend approximately $200 million a year on Alzheimer's patients. We also spend an additional $200 a year on other mental health conditions. That's $400 million annually for mental health. We currently spend more on mental health disorders than we spend on any other medical conditions combined. Cancer, heart disease, to name a couple. Mental illness medications accounted for approximately 35% of all money spent by insurance companies in the past year on pharmaceuticals. I have to tell you, I looked for a really specific number. I don't think they want us to know it, because I couldn't find it anywhere. It's a secret. Scientists and neurologists have been examining the connection between the gut and brain. In 2014, the U.S. National Institute of Mental Health spent more than $1 million on the research of the microbiome and the brain connection. They are finding that the digestive system and the brain are intimately connected. They are now referring to the gut as the second brain. Additionally, they have found that they are not only connected, but the communication between the two is bidirectional, which means that the brain is not only signaling to the gut, but the gut is telling the brain also what to do in certain situations. Let's see. It has also been determined that the gut can function independently from the brain and can control many functions without the brain's input. Thus, the second brain. So I read, we're talking about the gut, right? So the gut can really consist of what? So I printed out a paper, if I can find it. Broken down. I'm not going to give the definition of each organ or each area, but I'm going to tell you what the gut consists of. The mouth and teeth, they have a significant role in the gut because when we chew our food, we're breaking it down to allow it to go down through the esophagus and then have the stomach do its work. The small intestine, the colon or large intestine, the pancreas, the liver, and the gallbladder. That's what consists of the gut. So when we have the second brain, there's a lot of components involved to it. So how does it work? How is the gut and the brain connected? Back in the brain, in the gut, bacteria is a single-cell organism which continue to grow until they split into two. Now this is a piece, right? So I'm going to try to throw in like what I learned without what I have written down. This can work in both ways, right? If we have a cell that is growing large enough to split into two, we have good bacteria, we have bad bacteria. So if we have good things going in on our body, we can multiply it by 2, right? And we can continue to feed that. So we just continually have better health. Conversely, if we are not doing good things for our body, if we are smoking, if we are drinking, if we are doing drugs, right? So we're going to now introduce the negative cells into our body, which can also multiply and split by 2, right? I'm trying to, so it's all connected. Bacteria is the foundation of life on all life on Earth. We have trillions of organisms or germs inhabiting our body. These are referred to the microbes. Bacteria make up the majority of our gut microbes. Fun fact, collected together, all the bacteria in your gut would weigh about 4 pounds, which is approximately the same size as your brain. Thus, brain 1, brain 2. Gut microbes influence the environment of your body. They contribute to the environment by producing certain chemicals that affect the health of the brain and the entire nervous system. That produce certain vitamins such as B12, which is extremely important to mental and physical health. Lack of B12 can also contribute to dementia and depression. All right, we have good bacteria, we have bad bacteria. The good bacteria aid in digestion, create a barrier to invaders such as viruses and parasites, thus being the bad bacteria. Act as detoxification machines, influence the immune system response, produce and release important enzymes and substances that collaborate with your biology, as well as chemicals for the brain, including vitamins and neurotransmitters. They help in handling stress through, this is really, I'm going to skip this part because it's talking about floras, and I wrote it and I still don't know what it means. So it affects also the hormonal system. This assists in getting sleep, help control inflammatory pathways, which in turn affect risk for all manner of chronic disease. So through my reading, the word that kept coming up a lot is inflammatory, right? Inflammation. Now, I'm going to digress for a second. I had a cold a couple weeks. I went to the doctor, right? I had a really bad sinus infection. This person likes to talk to me about what's causing it, not like I'm going to give you some drugs to treat it, right? So he talked all about the inflammation that was going on in my sinuses. And because of the inflammation, I wasn't getting air, the mucus wasn't passing through, so it was just this vicious cycle of the bacteria going round and round and round, so I wasn't getting better, right? Solely due really to the inflammation. So reading all about the gut health, the same thing happens within the gut. If we're not taking care of it, the cell walls within our stomach lining will become inflamed. Therefore, it's not able to function efficiently, effectively, in the way it's supposed to. So I bring that up because the inflammation piece comes through frequently. So good bacteria are capable of producing important brain chemicals, gamma amino acids, which serves as neurotransmitters to the central nervous system. So again, gut, brain talking to each other. Additionally, the nervous system, here's another piece how we're connected, primarily through the vagus nerve, which really doesn't mean anything, but it's the longest nerve that connects the spinal cord to the gut. There are hundreds of millions of nerve cells in our intestinal nervous system. It extends from the brain to the abdomen. Our central nervous system is extremely sensitive to changes in our gut. Again, talking, right? So we have our central nervous system that talks throughout the whole body. The vagus nervous system just talks about from the stomach to the brain. They're communicating frequently. So I heard Mary say it today. She said, I feel sick to my stomach, right? So how many times have people said, I feel sick to my stomach, like they're going to have a test, they're going to go to the doctors, they're going to go to the dentist, they're going to speak in front of a large group of people, right? So, well, this really is the two-way communication between the brain and the gut. Like your head is saying, there's something big coming up. Like you're going to be speaking in front of about 100 people, and then your stomach goes, oh, don't feel so good, want to throw up, right? So now the stomach is relating back to the brain, I don't feel good. So it's the two-way communication that is affecting not only me physically now, but is affecting me emotionally. Let's see the communication. The brain will send butterflies to the stomach, and in turn the gut can rely in state of calm or alarm. And the nervous system, will send the transmitters, again, back and forth. One of the reasons that the gut is now referred to as the second brain is the total number of neurons in the gut is so vast that it assists regulating muscles, immune cells, and hormones. I talk about all this because when I read it, like there's really no way to break it down that it's interesting, because I can tell by the looks on your faces. But it's all really important because I think I've pretty much talked about everything that is going on in the body, and it's all connected on how we feel physically, right? And so the gut has its own immune system. That's huge, right? So when I get sick, if I'm not taking care of my stomach or what I put in my body or making sure the inflammation in my stomach lining isn't taken care of, then how am I going to get better, right? So here's some interesting information, right? Now, how does this happen? In the beginning, we talked about the environmental and the societal effects since 1979 that has caused all of these things to really drastically increase the number of deaths and the frequency of deaths in people who live with mental illness. Well, this is what we're allowing our society to do. Let's see. Well, here is some of what's going on. The FDA has approved over 100,000 chemicals for commercial use. That's 82,000 chemicals that they use industrially. 3,000 chemicals, ladies, they put in our cosmetics. 9,000 food additives are allowed to be processed, and 3,000 pharmaceutical drugs. These are additional additives that have been approved by the FDA but have not been really proven on the good or the bad that they're having the effect on. Farmers approximately, now I tried to talk about this last night, but it is what it is. Farmers apply 3,000 pounds of herbicides on crops annually. Those are the things that they kill plants, they kill the pesticides, they're killing the bugs. That's what we're eating, okay? That's what we're eating. And then you put your makeup on to look pretty because you might look a little pale because of the shit you just put in your stomach, pardon my language. Not feeling so good. We put chlorine in our water. We're drinking chlorine. That's what's in our water, and we allow that, right? Because the FDA said it's okay. Medications, for example, antidepressants such as Paxil, Zoloft, Lexapro increase the availability of serotonin. Now, I was really kind of hesitant about talking about medications in this piece because really they do provide such a vital role for so many, people who live with mental illness. However, there is a side. Paxil, Zoloft, Lexapro increase the availability of serotonin. They are now giving people who take those medications 80 to 90% of the amount of serotonin they need. So what that means now is that the body is not producing that 80 to 90%, right? And it's the same thing with anything. If we put the additive in our body, right? So we have our immune system that fights off infection and bacteria. If we're taking antibiotics, the body says, I don't need to produce that anymore because you're making it really easy for me, right? So we have to be mindful about everything we're putting in our body. The three strongest forces against us: environmental chemicals, certain ingredients in our food, gluten, sugar, and chlorine, not so good, and then lack of nutrients that support good health. We are truly what we eat. So we've talked about good bacteria, bad bacteria. So now some of the things that we put in our body that can be good and can be bad. There are good omegas and that are fats. There's omega-6, which is a bad fat. It's found in vegetable oils. These can increase inflammation in the cell walls. We talked about that. Not good. It's going to inhibit the body from being able to function properly. Omega-3s are the good fats found in fish, olive oil, flaxseed, wild grass-fed animals. These boost brain function, assist with stamping out inflammation that, again, can be caused by the 6. So if you're eating, French fries with vegetable oil, eat a salad and put some olive oil on it. There are the antioxidants that we put in our body help control the inflammation. Again, the inflammation word comes up over and over and over again. That's the gut health that we have to keep it down. They boost the intestinal wall integrity and they produce important chemicals for the brain. And another important thing other than what we eat, right? So what we want to eat. Can everybody afford organic food that they're going to, where is that store, April? Whole Foods. And they're not eating the pesticides and all of these other additives that are on our food? No, but we can be mindful about how much of it we put in our body, that we have a balanced diet, and then exercises are also really important because it can help produce more B vitamins and good antioxidants and get the body flowing the way that it's supposed to. So how I want to end this is by saying I'm really, really, really sorry about the topic and about the information that was provided. I just hope that it opened your mind a little bit, and just know that the brain and the gut, if nothing else, I can tell you, it really does, because I read it all and I kind of get it, and I just had a really hard time of putting it together to really hope that you would get it. But I really encourage you to do some more research, to look into how it is connected. And when your stomach doesn't feel good, what's your brain thinking? And if your brain's not feeling so good, what's your stomach doing? What are you eating? You know what I mean? Stop and put it all together, because Tom started singing it, and you really don't want me to sing it, but it was funny because when I was doing it, I did start singing it. Go ahead, Tom. The knee bone's connected to the hip. I know, it's on my face. Did somebody get it? Well, that was interesting. Thank you, Kia.
I want to do a gut check. Is everybody doing okay out there? A little gut check. So this is, just want to give a shout out to Mental Health America. We use their format. A lot of the materials that we use are through Mental Health America, an organization that has been celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month since 1949. We've vetted out all this stuff. It really is just tremendous information, and we're very glad that we have them. And at this point is the formal part of the occasion. The mayor has sent his regrets that he's homesick, but we have in his place the one and only Honorable Irish Mike Ward's going to come up and read a proclamation from the mayor of Lawrence, Daniel Rivera.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Who knew when I woke up today it was my 15 minutes of fame?
15 minutes.
I'm not an official government representative. But here it goes. Proclamation from City of Lawrence. Be it known, I, Daniel Rivera, Mayor of the City of Lawrence, Massachusetts, and on behalf of the residents of the City of Lawrence, excuse me, by and through this proclamation, hereby recognize the Point After Club for the continued advocacy and dedication to mental health awareness and observe Mental Health Month 2018, and hereby state as follows. Whereas, mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas all Americans experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives, and whereas prevention is an effective way to reduce the burden of mental health conditions, and whereas there is strong research that diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management can help Americans protect their health and well-being, and whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our nation, and whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives. And whereas each business, school, government, agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen shares the burden of mental health problems and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness and support prevention efforts. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Daniel Rivera, on behalf of the City of Lawrence, Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Mental Health Month. Furthermore, just read. I set my hand and affix the seal of the City of Lawrence, Massachusetts, this 4th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2018. Signed, Daniel Rivera, Mayor.
Whereas he did a heck of a job, didn't he? Once I knew the mayor was to come in, I just looked up from here. Mike was walking in the door. I said, "There's the guy for the job." Thank you, Michael. I think we're nearing the conclusion of our event. Usually at this time, we bring up the artists. Anyone who's got some artwork up there, come on up. If you haven't been inside the art gallery out here, this will be here for the month of May here at Heritage State Park.
Iris? Come on up, girl. Pam, you got a piece?
So once again, if you haven't been able to see the artwork, this will be here. You can see it right after the conclusion here. We also we'll be showing the Marie Balter video down in the theater on the first floor. Listen to you guys. So I'm going to turn it over to the artists. If they have anything they want to talk about their artwork or anything, just pass it around.
Mary? All right.
Para te quito tanto.
First of all, the Point After Club is a big part of my life. It makes me feel like they say, we're all somebody. But doing the artwork, it's a it's a big stress reliever for me. If I get frustrated at the club or whatever, I go into the art center in my own little corner and just paint away. It's just, the club is a big part of my life, and without them, I don't know where I would be.
And one of the pieces I have in here is my very first crochet piece, is a scarf. And without the help of some of my friends back here, and one that's not here, I would be never thought I'd dream of learning how to crochet and doing other different types of art. Yes, it's called teamwork around here. So thank you everybody for showing up, and see who else wants to speak.
I have a couple pieces of art that I did. One I did with a dog in a basket. It says stigma is rough. The other one I did was a circle with hands and a heart. It shows faith, love, God, and friends. And the Point After Club is like another family to me. They're always there no matter what you go through. And not only that, I learned for myself how to, I just become vice president of the MCC. And then team captain of the NAMI Walkathon.
Yeah,
I'll talk about as we go along, and even when I was in the hospital, I was talking about the club. And showing Mary's card, and they took the card down to the nurse's station at the Lawrence General, and one nurse wanted to change her job to come and see if they could work for the Point After. So it was good. So, and they asked what we did, and I was explaining about how we work together as a team and how we make sure when one's down, we're there for the other. And even though we have, say, our disagreements, we always make sure at the end of the day, we say, we're sorry, let's try again and do it over.
Hello, my name's Dolores, and I wrote 2 lovely poems. What is it like and what does it matter? It reflects about people and their lives and how they react to one another. I enjoy writing. I enjoy writing a lot because it keeps my mind at ease. And I thank the Point After Club for helping me. Thank you.
So every year, back when we first became Vinfin, and Tom told me I was going to work in this unit called CASAR, Communications, Art, Social Recreation. I was like, dude, I didn't go to art school. I don't know. I'll try, but I don't know. And I didn't go to art school so often, but I'll try. And, what I've learned over these past few years is that art and creativity, and this is something that I learned from our volunteers, Kathy Graham, who's so fabulous. Creativity exists inside everybody. So often I hear, well, Julia, I don't want to make any art because I'm just not creative like that. And you might not think that, okay, I'm not going to draw the systematic tackle, or I'm not going to in art especially, we compare ourselves to what other people are doing. And, what you just got to do is like what Mary said, just sit down one day and either write a poem or even just draw or just, experiment with something, and you never know where that will take you. And, this year I'm really so, cool to see all the work that we've done. You'll see a piece, one of my favorite pieces is the whale watch piece. And that's the way that art has made it legitimately into the word today, is that we advertise our upcoming events through art. Something that maybe traditionally was like, oh, art, that's kind of a social thing. We figured out a way to use art within the context of our business that we need to conduct, whether it be photography for the newsletter, and members have stepped up. When members go on events, they turn it to their pictures and it turns up into the newsletter. So it's really so cool to see all the members' progress and everything that we've done, and just so proud.
Thank you, thank you.
It's Christian Terrence. I've been doing painting and I have to go for 5 years. I have a good time doing it. Other times that I draw something, I try to do something different. And I have a good time. So.
Hello, my name is Sherry Lenhart, and I am coming back to the Point After Club after many years of abdominal surgeries, and I feel very welcome. And the first thing when I saw Julie, said, Sherry, we're doing the art, we need to do some pictures. So I did, and I'm very proud of them. There are a few that were mistakes, and ended up being pretty darn good. So I'm really proud of myself, and I'm happy to be back at the Point After Club. And I am going to walk in the Nanny Walk. Woo! Yeah! This year is my year to come back, because I feel excellent. I walk, I exercise, I'm trying to eat good, and taste practice. But I'd like to thank you all for coming today and enjoy the art gallery.
And I really look forward to doing the art every week. Good job.
And then we're going to do a group picture inside the gallery. Thank you, everybody.